back up a little bit on blockchain, because as a venture capitalist, I'm always being pitched the how and the what. But what they're truly missing is the why. And what's the emotional connection to the product? Why? Why do we care about it? And so let me back up a wee bit in terms of blockchain. And as Carlos said, I do business commentary a bit on CNBC, on Squawk Box. And the topic that was hit at that day was Facebook and the privacy issues around data. And with me, every time I have to speak, they usually give me the topic like 2 hours before I go on, and I have to figure and scramble on how to create the lens to how to speak about that topic, but also from different opinions, not only myself. So I have a range of authorities. So I call my better half, who's general counsel of Airbnb, Rob Chestnut, and he gives me the policy piece. And then I talk to the person at Facebook who's been there forever, who will remain nameless, but has high integrity. Yes, she does. And I got a bit from her. And then I called two of my highest authorities, which will be there in a second. There. Did he not come up? They come up. Okay, there they are. All right. So this is Justin Alvin Manus, and this is Nicholas Justin Solzman. Daddy is 92 years old. He is an IP lawyer at White & Case. That's my father. My son is 23 years old, and they are my focus group. Daddy says to me, "Oh, I think it's appalling that all this data is being used for evil, and I will not put any of it out there. I don't use any social media. And by the way, I don't need Viagra ads on my coming to me through email. If I want to find Viagra, I do it myself." Okay, he's 92. He has a 75-year-old girlfriend, but let's not go there. Okay, so then all of a sudden, I say, "All right, Daddy, I got you. I hear you loud and clear." 92 years old. And then we have Nicholas. And Nicholas says, "Mom, I don't care. I've got a ton of data. Everybody can have all my data, but they can't use it for the wrong reason. And I want to control how much is given. And I don't want just Facebook services for my data. I want cash. I want something bigger. I want more for that." So now we distill it down, and I say to the CNBC audience, I said, "All right, if you distill it down, what truly people want are three things. They want transparency, they want choice, and they want benefits." When I say choice, they want to know how their data is going to be used, and they want benefits that go way beyond just them, because I think, and we all believe, that the benefits are really societal benefits. It's not just how can it benefit you, but something bigger and something for the future. So as it's been touched upon, the why to me is really the framework. The framework of the why is really the trust. It is building a chain of trust for the trustless society. Now let me flip that for a second and put something out there. Is this, though, building a chain of trust for the trustless society, or is it eliminating the need for trust? And I don't have the answer. But that's something I need for all of you to ponder as we're exploring this journey. So as Carlos was saying, I truly believe everybody keeps talking about blockchain as being disruptive. But the fact of it is, it's not disruptive. It is foundational. I truly believe that similar to how the wheel was, the light bulb and not light bulb, but electricity, those two inventions really impacted every single fiber of society, both economically and socially. And I do believe that blockchain has the capability of doing just that. So where are we in terms of the benefits of blockchain? I know a lot of you are still grappling with exactly how blockchain works, and I'm hoping by the end of this you're going to have bits and pieces put together, because in essence, that really is what the blockchain is. It's distributed data across lots of different thousands and thousands and thousands of computers. And the data is put into tiny little blocks. And John Oliver had a really funny statement. He said, the reason, if you think of hacking the blockchain, the way that I think of hacking the blockchain, and the reason why you couldn't hack the blockchain, it would be like taking a chicken McNugget and turning it back into a chicken. And I thought to myself, okay, because it's so many little pieces of data all over the place. So now let's bring in, what are the benefits of blockchain? Here are some of them. Distributed data, of course, the security, peer-to-peer transmission, and so on and so forth. And you heard from all of everybody a lot about it is about security, it's a lot about sharing, it's a lot about the smart contracts, which only applies to Ethereum right now. And the Ifttt means, and this will really explain it, if this, then that. Ifttt. So basically, what it's really saying is if you reach a threshold, whatever that action is, then it triggers, right, another action, which then creates and fulfills this task. And with this, the chain, right, you can hit a threshold of going to the doctor, which all of a sudden will then trigger off a series of events. And that's really the chain of events, and that is a blockchain. So the current inefficiencies in healthcare. Some of you know these. Actually, when I was putting this together, I asked a couple of people. And so some people said certification and transparency, others said provenance, some said ownership, and this is all everyone together. And perhaps I'm missing some. And if I am, and you wish to have this deck and a picture of my father and my son, please let me know, because I'm happy to share all this information and all the slides with anyone. Because I'm sure I'm missing, but this for now is what we have. All right, this blew my socks off. So even though I invest in companies, and I know there are so many all over the world, I started to research these different areas, and I started to bucket them. And this is how I bucketed the blockchain, the applications. Healthcare data infrastructure, personal healthcare record. Well, obviously, you can read this. I don't have to. But the fact is, what was most interesting about it was that the global reach of these companies is it's usually, we're so myopic here in the Silicon Valley. It's all about us, and then it's all about MIT, and then it's all about Duke, and then it's all about these different research hubs. But the fact is, and the UK, obviously the UK, however, there are some other countries that are doing fascinating things. There are companies that I really wanted to bring onto your radar. All right, Block Pharma. Now, Block Pharma is out of France. And basically, as we all know, the drug supply chain is deeply compromised. It's fake, it's falsified. It is basically, substandard medicine. In fact, there was a data point brought to me. Someone said that 38% of all the drugs that go into Africa are actually counterfeit. And I thought that was such a disgusting, aha, but that really made sense. We don't have that transparency. But now, with a blockchain, we can see who and how the medicine is sourced, and how it's made, and how it's delivered, and how it is prescribed, and how it's ingested. And that, everyone, is basically a blockchain. So then we have gene ownership. And Carlos, I know this is dear to your heart. And the more I started to inform myself, educate myself about it, the more I was really excited. There is a company, and I actually rang up my son Nick, and I said, guess what? There's a company called Nebula Genomics. And basically, for under $1,000, it will sequence your genome, it will provide you the insights, and you can then profit off of them, because you can take it and you can sell it to licensed institutions, for which everyone helps, including Encryptogen does the same thing. And now, for that data, you can actually get tokens. Now, the real downside with tokens, as we all know, is that we're not quite sure exactly how you can use them or where you can use them. But you can definitely amass a large amount of tokens. With this DNA token, basically, the way that the value is derived is from the sale of the DNA data to these institutions, to these licensed institutions. And then you amass all this data tokens, DNA tokens. And I found that was really interesting because, as you know, there are 5 billion types of tokens. But that was fascinating for me and fascinating for Nick, who said, finally, I can make some money off of my DNA. And I thought, all right, there we go. Now just don't tell your grandfather. Okay. So then I found this, and I have a little bit of time, so I'm going to run through these. But my other son, one of my other sons, is going to South Korea. He's actually a neuroscience major at Duke, and he's going to South Korea really to teach English to North Korean refugees. And we're looking at different things, what's going on in South Korea, and Metablock came up. And Metablock is really doing some making some exciting progress in blockchain in South Korea. So when I'm going to go over there, I'm actually going to meet them, but I want to put them on your radar. Then you have the digital healthcare wallet, Doc.ai, and that's here in California. And what this is really talking directly towards predictive and precision medicine. It collects your omics in one place, it predicts what you can be prevented, and it earned through change. And we hit some of those in companies we've already talked about. But the most incredible and most interesting part about this was that last line where it says, you earn rewards for your impact to advance the health of generations to come. And instead of just being all about us and how it benefits us and how it makes us richer, it's really the sharing of this data that's going to elevate everyone. And I actually have, a philosophy. Right now, we are this image. We have a lot of white papers. Some of these blockchains are in production. Don't even get me started on blockchain ICOs. Don't get me started on that. But at the very end, we have the actual product release. And it's a wee little kind of, little animal that has little stick legs. And we're really trying to get there. And guess what? I think we are going to get there because, as it's been noted before, we need to get there. We need to have this chain of trust. But take 1 second more and just address the question from the beginning, which is blockchain a chain of trust? And my answer is yes, and I'm taking it one step further. Give me 2 seconds. One step further. When I was writing a white paper for the Surgeon General under the Bush administration, Dr. Richard Carmona, the title of that was Health Diplomacy. And it was basically made us think about how instead of harming people and bombing people, we could actually be healing each other. But not until now did I really think there was a way to do that. And now I think that by the sharing of this data, we are going to redefine, redesign, not eliminate, but redesign trust, which potentially could actually be more than that. I think the blockchain of trust could actually be a path to peace. And that's where we're going to leave you. So thank you very much.